Mr. Uppal, Mr. Kesar, Mr. Mehra, members of the OGTC and distinguished gathering. It's always a pleasure to come back to this cluster and the entrepreneurs who are associated with this cluster. But I must say that OGTC has been very gracious in acknowledging the role of our ministry. What I have to tell you, which probably many of the older members know, that our ministry got involved with this cluster at a very early stage. And since then, the cluster has grown in all aspects much faster than we expected. In fact, the lean manufacturing scheme which Mr. Kesar was referring to, and I was asking whether actually what kind of a response there has been from the ministry and the National Productivity of the Productivity Council. So from all accounts, what was implemented in the cluster went beyond the scheme. The cluster needs to be congratulated for this. And we need to introspect at our end about the procedures, processes which we adopt for high growth, highly efficient clusters like the OGTC. Because I am told that some of the payments are held up because OGTC went ahead and made the payments to the consultants before they were anticipated by us, and probably some of our finance people are asking how that had happened. So anyway, I assure you that that problem, which of course you would never volunteer to mention, but which I asked you about, we'll settle that problem, and whatever we committed as part of our program, I'm sure that you will be receiving that. For us, OGTC continues to be important because, as I mentioned, it is doing certain things faster, better than the normal programs. And we want to replicate these lessons, good experiences in other clusters. Talking about the lean manufacturing scheme itself, as Mr. Kesar mentioned, we introduced it on a pilot basis in about 100 clusters. In about 15 clusters, it failed to take off. In the remaining 85, there have been mixed results, generally good results. But as the review and evaluation of the program shows, OGTC has been the leader, and once again, congratulations for that. We have been looking lately at the manufacturing units amongst the MSMEs and what can be done to improve, enhance the manufacturing as a whole through the micro, small, and medium enterprises. And what we notice is that while there has been a good growth, it has not really gone beyond the historical trends, and we still, as a sector, contribute about 8% to the GDP, 45% to the manufacturing output, 40% of the exports of this country. I'm talking about the entire MSME sector. We would have liked it to grow much faster, so 8% should have become something more than that. Now, that is a problem of the entire manufacturing segment as a whole. I mean, if you include the larger enterprises, they also have stagnated at around 16% of the GDP. We want that to increase. And the National Manufacturing Policy has been announced and notified with that aim, that the manufacturing should get a boost. But there are severe challenges. In the MSME space, we find that the informal segment has been growing actually at a rate which is about 5 to 8% faster than the organized segment. No doubt it is contributing to the manufacturing output of different verticals. But we need to change this trend and somehow enable the registered and organized segment to grow faster. Otherwise, we are standing at a position where 95% of the entire MSMEs are in the unregistered informal space. And if the unorganized segment is growing 5 to 8% faster than the organized segment, then we are in a pretty unsustainable position. So the government had appointed a committee to look into these issues, and I am happy to tell, although we have not submitted the report, just before coming for this meeting, we have finalized the report, and in the next few days, I think you will hear much more about it. We need to improve the ecosystem for the MSMEs. We need to ensure that our entrepreneurs are able to devote time to their businesses rather than to the regulatory and other processes. We need to simplify those processes. Mr. Uppal was mentioning about the infrastructure, logistics. Of course, you accept those as a challenge, but from the government side, we need to improve those things. So we've made a number of recommendations how we can do that. But for this purpose and today's occasion, I would like to mention that we would need to work, that is, I'm talking about the government and the promotional agencies, need to work more closely with the associations. And we need to build partnerships between the government institutions, the technical institutions, the industry associations, to take up projects and to take up issues and challenges and to find solutions for those. I think associations like the Ogtc would come forward to identify specific challenges. We will certainly help in identifying institutions within the country and abroad who can find solutions to those challenges. Today's topic of creative thinking is a very apt topic in that sense. We need to think creatively, not only in the respective segments and about the products which are being manufactured, but we need to think creatively about government policies, about the way the manufacturing processes are being undertaken, how the value chains can be strengthened to improve competitiveness, how the value addition in our products can be improved. Perhaps Indian garment and apparel industry is not so badly off in that respect, but by and large, there is a need to address the issue of higher value addition in our industry and manufacturing. So all these are issues which I think we will be discussing in detail with the cluster organizations, with the industry associations, and one of the thrust areas from our ministry as well as with the other ministries would be to develop partnerships. We've been implementing a number of programs in the past in which the government has tried to play important role, but we find that our reach is not what it should have been. And we can expand this reach by working with clusters and associations. So I think, as I mentioned, we look forward to that opportunity in the coming months and the years ahead. And through such interaction and closer interface, we would be coming up perhaps with more creative solutions from the government side, and thereby also encouraging more creativity in the industry generally. I congratulate the winners today who have received the awards, and I honor Mrs. Nair and the family for the contributions which their family has made towards this sector and thereby to the entire economy of India indirectly. I thank you very much for inviting me over here and remembering me and the Ministry of MSME And I can assure you that we will always be with you in whatever endeavor the cluster undertakes in the future. Thank you very much.